Hello and welcome to Coding Demos. In this tutorial, we're going to learn about Firebase and how we can use Firebase to save a newly registered user. So as you can see in the emulator, I have a form that has an email and a password and a sign up button. So when the user key in these two fields and click on the sign up button, these details will be saved inside Firebase. So let me give you a demo. Let me key in an email and a password. Now when I click on the sign up button, a progress bar will show up on the toolbar and a toast message saying it's registered successfully. So to verify that, let me open up Firebase and let me refresh the page. And you can see the details are successfully saved inside Firebase. Alright, now let's get started. So I have here an empty Android Studio project. The only thing I did change on was the color of the app, which I did that here inside the colors.xml file. Okay. Now, first thing I need to do here is we need to add the Firebase inside this app. So to do that, you click on Tools, and then you select Firebase, and you can see this sidebar just open up, and we can select the third option, which says authentication. So you click on this arrow on the left side here, and you click on email and password authentication. After that, it will show you step-by-step instructions on how we can add this function. So the first thing we do here is we need to connect your app to Firebase. So click on the connect to Firebase button, and let's wait for this to load up. Now we have this dialog that says, do you want to create a new project, or if you have an existing project inside the Firebase, you can choose that here. Since we're creating a new Firebase project, so we're going to select the first option, and by default it takes the name of the current app, so we're going to leave that as it is, Firebase app. And then on the bottom right here, we're going to click on the connect to Firebase. So click on that. So now it's actually connecting in the background. So let's wait for the progress to finish. Sometimes when you click on the connect to Firebase and you fill in all these details, and you click on the connect to Firebase button that we just did right now, sometimes we get this error message saying that there is no internet connection, but I'm currently connected to an internet, so all you have to do is just click on the button again, and then the same dialog will appear, and you can see here this app is already connected to a project called the Firebase app. So click on this sync and it should sync automatically for you. So just click on sync, and let's wait for it to finish. Okay, so sync is complete, and you can see here the Firebase project created and connected locally to module app. That's great. So they were done with the first step, and you can see here connected with the green check mark. So the second option is we need to add the Firebase authentication to your app. So you click on this button, and here you'll be asked to modify the build or gradle, the project level, as well as the module app. So all you have to do is just click on the accept changes and wait for it to sync with your project. Now after the sync is complete, you'll get this sort of warning message that's saying configuration compile is obsolete and has been replaced with implementation. So this is just for your information, so you can just ignore that. So click on this button to close it. Now we have already added the Firebase inside our app, and to make sure that it is added, you can click on the Gradle script and click on the Build or Gradle project, and you can see it's already added. And click on the module app, and okay, let me just close this to give you guys a bit space, and it's already added here. Okay, so let me just check on why we're having a warning. Mixed version can lead to runtime crashes. What's the current version we have right now? They all look the same though. Okay, another thing is we need to, you can see when I hover my mouse over the Firebase auth, it says that there's a new version. So the one that was uploaded by the library just now, or the assistant, it was uploaded as the version 11.6.0, but the one that is available right now is 16.0.3. So let's update that. Just hover your mouse over this and you will see the orange button, the orange bulb. So click on that and change this to the 16.0.3. Now Android Studio will ask you to sync your project, so click on the sync now and let's wait for it to finish. Okay, so sync is complete. So just close this Gradle. We don't need that anymore. Now, the first thing that we need to do here is we need to go to the activity underscore main and we need to add a toolbar. So the toolbar will have the app name as well as the progress bar. So let's do it now. Click on the palette and let's search for toolbar and click it. You add it right here. So we have these toolbars on top of each other. We can fix it right away. So to do that, open up the resource, values, and styles.xml file, and here we need to change the parent theme to light.noActionBar. Okay, we're done with that. So close the styles.xml file. We go back here and we have the toolbar. And let me just delete this. And we'll change the width to, yep, match parent. That's correct. Now, you can ignore these errors. Okay. Now, the second thing we need to add is a progress bar. So we need to add a progress bar inside the toolbar here. So let's do it now. So inside here, we're going to add a toolbar, and to do that, click on the palette, and you'll look for progress bar, and you just add it right here. So you can see it's added outside of the toolbar tag. So we need to move this progress bar inside the toolbar tag. So let's cut this and paste it inside here. Okay. Let's remove this layout weight. We don't need that, and let's replace that with the gravity, because we need to position this progress bar towards the right. So we'll do that using Android layout gravity, and that will be equal to end. Okay. The other thing we need to do is we don't want the progress bar to be visible all the time. So to do that, first in the default, in the visibility, right? The default visibility would be gone, but when the user clicks on the sign up button, that is where we're going to show or hide the progress bar. So by default, it's going to be gone. So we'll do an Android visibility and we just choose gone. Okay. Now we're done with the progress bar and we're done with the toolbar. The second thing that we need to do is we need to add the two edit text and a button. So these two edit texts will be the the email and password, and we will have a button. So click on text and we're going to choose email. So just drag it here. And let me just take this and then put it below the toolbar. Okay. And let's delete this layout weight. And we need to give this a hint. So we're going to call this email. We're going to change the ID to email as well. And then, okay, so we have a layout. Namespace declaration is never used. That seems to be the problem here. Oh, okay. Oh, we didn't set an orientation for the layout. So Android orientation, we want it to be vertical. All right. Oh, now we can see the email in the email field. So I'm going to set the layout width to match parent. Okay, now it looks much better. Now we're going to do the same thing for password. So click on the palette and then choose the password, drag it to the layout here, and then we change the ID to password, and we're going to give this a hint, and we're going to call this password. Okay, and then finally we're going to add a button. So click on the palette again, and then just click on the common here and choose a button, drag it to the layout, and we're going to give this button an ID. So we're going to call this sign up. Sign up. All right, and we're going to change the label to sign up. All right, so we have the button, we have these two edit text, and we have the toolbar with the progress bar. So we're done with the layout. Now we need to go back to the main activity, and we need to reference these views. So let's do them right now. First thing, we have toolbar, and we're going to call it toolbar. Let me import this toolbar. Make sure we select the support version 7 library, and let's end this with a semicolon. Next, we need to add progress bar. We're going to call it progress bar, and then we need to add edit text, and that is the email. Let me duplicate that for password, and finally we will have a button, and we're going to call this sign up. Okay, so we have toolbar and we have progress bar, two edit text, and a button. That's good. Now let's reference them right here. So we're going to call toolbar and find view by ID, r.id, and it's called toolbar. Let me duplicate that for the other views. So change this to progress bar and change this to progress bar. This would be email, ET, edit text email, and this is password, edit text password, and finally we have sign up button, and this would be button sign up. Okay, another thing is we need to show the title of the app inside the toolbar, like I did here inside the demo app. So we do it like this. We have the toolbar, so we're going to call toolbar.set title, and to get the name of the app, we're going to do something like this, .string .app name. So the name of the app is actually stored inside the string.xml file, which is right here. So it's under resource values strings.xml file. You double click on that, and we have the app name, which is the Firebase app. So let's close this. Okay, now when the user clicks on the sign up button, that's where we're going to call the Firebase to save these two data inside the Firebase. So before we do that, we need to create the instance of Firebase. We need first to make a connection to the Firebase. So if we open up the assistant here and you scroll to step number 3, you can see here it says declare an instance of Firebase auth. So let's do it right now. Firebase and Firebase auth. I'm going to call this Firebase auth, and below the toolbar, Firebase auth equals Firebase auth.get instance. Okay, that's the first thing you need to do to establish a connection with the Firebase. You need to add this. So once we have added this, Now we can call the button.setOnClickListener, and inside the onClick method is where we're going to call that's where we're going to register the new user. So we do sign up dot set on click listener, new on click listener. Let me close this. Okay. Inside the onClick method is where we're going to do Firebase auth dot create user. That's the one, create user with email and password. Select that. So inside this method, it's asking us to provide two values. The first one would be the email address of the user. The second thing would be the password. So we do it like this: email dot get text dot toString, and then password dot get text dot toString, and then we're going to call add on complete listener. So we're going to go to new on complete listener, and let's end this with semicolon. Let me put this in a new line so it's easier for you guys to see the code. Okay, so you might be wondering why we chose the add on complete listener, because this add on complete listener will help us determine whether the operation was successful or not, whether the user data have actually saved inside the Firebase, or there was some sort of an error. So we're going to call add on complete listener, and inside the onComplete method, they have provided us with the task here. So this task will help us determine whether the operation is successful or not. So inside the create username with the create user with email password, we're passing the email, the user email, and the user password. And inside the onComplete method is we're going to check first thing if the task was successful. So task dot is successful, meaning that the user data are actually saved inside Firebase. We're going to show a toast message. Toast.makeText. We're going to provide the current context, which is main activity.this. The toast would be registered successfully. And we're going to set the length of the toast to long. And finally, we need to show the toast. Let me make this in a new line. All right. So if the task was successful, if the user data is actually saved successfully inside Firebase, we're going to show a toast message. Now, otherwise, if the task wasn't successful, the user data wasn't saved successfully inside Firebase, we're going to show a toast message. But in this toast message, we're going to change the actual message to whatever message that Firebase passed to us. So to do that, we're going to use task.getException.getMessage. Okay. So here you can see it's saying that the get message may produce a null point exception, so you can ignore that for now. So what we're doing here is, if the task was successful, the user data wasn't saved successfully inside Firebase, then usually Firebase will show a user-friendly message. So we're getting the user-friendly message from this task.getException. So the exception might be like, for example, this user have already been saved inside the Firebase, or the password that the user key in wasn't like 6 characters and above. Those kind of error messages that Firebase have already defined. That's how we can access them using the task.getException. Okay. So now, okay, before we actually run the app, another thing that we missed, that we didn't add, was the progress bar here. So we need to add the progress bar, or we need to show the progress bar when the user taps on the the button, the sign up button. So we will add that right here. Before we call the Firebase auth.create user with email password, we're going to add the progress bar, and we're going to set its visibility to visible, because if you remember, inside the activity underscore main.xml file, the progress bar visibility was set as gone. And now inside the main activity of Java, when the user click on the sign up button, that's where we're going to show the progress bar. And then we're going to hide that progress bar inside the onComplete method, not inside the successful or not, inside the overall onComplete method. So before we're checking for the task was successful or not, that's where we're going to set the visibility of the progress bar to gone. So progress bar that set visibility to gone. Okay. Alright, I think we're done. Let's give this a run. Let's see how it looks like in the emulator. So click on the run button, choose the current emulator that's available in your computer, and click on OK. And we'll wait for this build to finish. Okay, so build is complete. The first thing we notice is the title of the app is actually in black color. So let's change that by going to activity underscore main. And inside the toolbar, here is where you're going to change the color. So we can see Android theme. So let's delete this. And we're going to do theme overlay. Yep, that's the first option. So overlay dot app compact dot dark. Okay, so once you set that and you run the app, you should be able to see the app color appear in white instead of black. So let's give this a run and let's see how it looks like. Okay, build is complete, and you can see the app color changed to white. Okay, now let's test this. So I'm going to add an email. Let's call this joe@test.com, and for the password we're going to key in Joe 12345, and we'll click on sign up. So the progress bar is working fine, it's showing up. Okay, so the given user sign in provided is disabled for this Firebase. Oh, okay. Okay, let's change this instead of test to Yahoo. And let's hide the keyboard. Click on the sign up button again. Okay, so the reason why showing is this message is because we missed actually a step. So if you go back to the Firebase project, let me open up my browser and let me see. Okay, let me just refresh this page, because we have just created a brand new Firebase project, and the reason why we're not able to log in is because, okay, let me just open up. Okay, this is the Firebase app. So the reason why it's not working is because in the sign in method we didn't actually enable the email and password. So if we go back to the emulator and we click on the sign up, you can see the given sign provider is disabled for this Firebase project. So we need to enable that before we can actually proceed with saving the user details inside Firebase. And because we're trying to register with the email and password, because we are doing that inside you can see here we're calling the Firebase auth the create username with email and password. So we need to go back to the emulator and go back to the browser. We need to enable this, and to do that, just click on the pencil and click on the first option, enabled. Okay, so you can see allow user to sign up using their email address and password. Our SDK also provide email address verification, password recovery, and email address change primitives. So we will talk about that later, but for now we need to enable this, and click on save. Okay, so email password enabled. That's good. So we can go back to the app and let's click on the sign up. Let's try with the test at test.com. See if it works or not. So click on sign up. Okay, registered successfully. So to verify that, you go to the user tab here and you can see the email was saved successfully inside Firebase. So you can see that the friendly messages that appeared previously, that's saying that you have to enable the email password. That's the reason why it appears is because if you go back to the main activity of Java and you look at the else condition here, where we are calling the task the get exception or get message. So whatever exception that Firebase sent to our app, we're showing it because of this. Okay, so adding this is actually helpful to you and to users to know exactly what's the reason in case of any issues that preventing your user from signing up. So we managed to successfully sign up a user, but that would be actually great if we can remove these fields or this data from the actual fields. Okay, so if you click on the sign up again, you will get a message saying that this user actually exists. You see the email address is already in use by another account. So let me just clear these fields by doing something like this. So inside the task is successful, we need to do this only once the user have successfully registered and their details are already saved in Firebase. So below the toast message, we're going to do email dot set text, and we'll just give it an empty string, and we're going to repeat the same thing for password. So if we run the app again, let's wait for it to build up. Okay, build is complete. Okay, so let's open up the emulator again. So let's change from test to, let's say, yahoo.com. Click on the sign up button again. The progress bar is working. Okay, registered successfully, and you can see these two fields. We have emptied these datas. Now it looks a bit nicer. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any questions or comments, please post them in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching, and happy coding.